is cooking. They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a
With another WrestleMania come and gone, welcome to the WWE WrestleMania review show with Reese Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith, and yes, you heard it right. Another WrestleMania has been and gone. But first, we will bring you our first from post-show reaction to NXT Takeover New York.
The weekend started on Friday night when, what seems to be for the 10th billionth time, NXT took over the Barclays Center for NXT Takeover New York.
So, what was our first match on this pay-per-view?
First, the War Raiders would defend the NXT Tag Team Championships against the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, Aleister Black and Ricochet.
So how do we feel that this match went as a match?
As a match, it was solid. Predictable because of how Aleister Black and Ricochet have been featured on the main roster. I don't think anyone was expecting them to win.
No.
And in the end they did, and this incidentally would be their second tag team championship match of the weekend.
Yeah.
The first and 3 over the course of a week. After the match there was a show of respect between the two teams, and Aleister Black and Ricochet basically gave their farewell to the NXT audience.
So our next match on the card was...
Following this, we had the Velveteen Dream defend the NXT North American Championship against Matt Riddle. This seemed to be a match, somewhat I could tell, that was mostly dominated by Matt Riddle.
Mostly.
Except, as we will reveal in our next show, Velveteen Dream managed to catch Matt Riddle in a quick roll-up type situation and keep him down for the 3 count.
So our next matchup is...
Following 2 successful title defenses, it was won to change hands.
Because this next championship was vacant.
No, it wasn't. This was the NXT or the United Kingdom Championship with Pete Dunne, who had pretty much held the championship for 2 years.
Austrian-born Walter.
Can I just say, Austria, the name of the title is the United Kingdom Championship.
But unfortunately, it didn't seem to apply for Walter.
Doesn't seem to apply for pretty much everyone in NXT or NXT UK.
Pretty much.
But this was essentially a case of let's go out there and beat the holy crap out of each other.
Pretty much. But in any event, the winner of the match...
And new United Kingdom champion...
Walter.
This was kind of what I was expecting to happen because, well, Pete Dunne had basically done everything he could with that title. And while some people may complain that he held it for 2 years almost, it's not like he was Brock Lesnar who only showed up when he fucking wanted to.
And we'll talk more about Brock Lesnar in our next show.
Next, it's Fatal 4-Way time.
Oh yeah.
When the NXT Women's Championship was defended in a Fatal 4-Way match with Shayna Baszler defending against Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane.
Now, as Fatal 4-Way matches go, it was pretty chaotic.
Well, that is why they call them Fatal and the 4-Way.
Pretty much.
But after some back and forth chaos, it was Shayna Baszler who was able to pick up the win and retain the NXT Women's Championship by way of submission. And then we go to our main event. We all know the story about Tommaso Ciampa vacating the championship due to injury. Adam Cole would then win a match to become the number one one of the challengers
Yeah.
in a fatal 5-way match to face Johnny Gargano. Now, this was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Adam Cole went up 1-4-0.
He did.
And then Johnny Gargano was able to equalize.
Make it 1-4-8.
And then after that, it seemed to turn from a 1-on-1 match to a 4-on-1 match when the entire Undisputed Era came out there to distract the referee, hit their finishing moves, and this was Johnny Gargano's answer to all of this. It was a kick out after a kick out after a kick out.
It was a kick out galore.
Now, I seem to recall that if two superstars did that on the main roster by the names of John Cena and Roman Reigns did that, the crowd would go ballistic.
Yeah, but
This time, the crowd went completely the other way and loved it.
how rare.
And at the end of it, Johnny Gargano was able to catch Adam Cole to make him submit and finally win the big one. So the new NXT champion is Johnny Gargano. He was joined in the celebrations by his wife, Candice LeRae, and on the other way by former tag team partner Tommaso Ciampa. This also makes Johnny Gargano the first Triple Crown / Grand Slam champion of NXT, having won the NXT Tag Team Championships as part of DIY, the NXT North American Championship, although he lost it a few weeks later,
Yeah.
and the NXT Championship.
So that about does it for NXT Takeover New York.
Next, after this break, we shall briefly discuss the Hall of Fame, which I will apologize in advance for a slight rant I will be going on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. We apologise in advance for the one heinous event that happened during the Hall of Fame ceremony.
But before we get to that, let's just enjoy the script basically describe the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name,
yeah,
'cause you burn with the brightest flame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name,
yeah.
and you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. And you're never gonna know if you never even try.
Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the cross flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions.
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the cross flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the king, come hanging on your chest.
You can be the general, you can beat the war. You can become a champion, hanging on the top.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a champion, no wait for luck. Dedicated champion, like you really
Standing
standing.
in the Hall of Fame.
So, the night before WrestleMania, the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019.
So,
Let's start with the positives. Being inducted first, we had the Honking Tonk Man, inducted by Jimmy Hart.
yeah,
We also had Brutus the Barber Beefcake, inducted by yours truly, Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
Now, Tori Wilson was inducted into this year's Hall of Fame class by another long overdue name or long term name, Stacy Keibler. However, 2 days before her induction, Tori Wilson suffered a personal tragedy by the death of her father, who actually did feature in WWE programming for the storyline.
yeah. Al Wilson unfortunately passed away 2 days before her induction, so it was a very emotional moment for Tori Wilson.
We also had the Warrior Award recipient, Sue Atchison, who was a long-term executive with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, who was presented the award with Dana Warrior and John Cena, who we will also get into a little later.
Yeah,
Harlem Heat, 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions, Stevie Ray and Booker T were inducted, making Booker T a 2-time Hall of Famer.
right.
Now, the main inductees this year were D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels, also a 2-time Hall of Famer, Triple H, Chyna,
Great China.
Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and X-Pac. Now, here was a bit of a laugh because they mentioned Vince McMahon's name a couple of times,
Yes, they did.
but it's a well-known fact that he doesn't want his name associated with a Hall of Fame, but he might make an exception for DX. And then there were, I don't know whether jabs is the right word, but there were comments made about All Elite Wrestling since Billy Gunn does work there, with Triple H saying that they'd buy the company just so they could fire him. Now we get to what I call the most controversial bet, because also becoming a two-time Hall of Famer was Bret Hart, as being inducted as part of the Hart Foundation, who was also Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So they were out there with Bret Hart and Natalia representing Jim the Anvil Neidhart and giving their speeches, when, in one of the most disrespectful, disgusting acts I have ever seen, some jackass idiot decides to jump into the ring, which they were using as the podium, and tackle Bret Hart to the floor.
Yes, which prompted the response of many WWE superstars, including Rowdy Ronda Rousey's husband, Travis Banks.
As soon as this happened, we had Shane McMahon, I believe, was one of them, Heath Slater, The New Day, everyone pretty much who was in the front row, burst into the ring, pulled this idiot out of there,
While Travis Banks and Dash Wilder got a few shots in on him.
as Dash Wilder hit him with a super uppercut as they were dragging him away. Now, this man is supposedly an MMA fighter.
Not a very good one at that.
Yes. Now, we have had incidences at live shows. One that springs to mind and I've seen a video of is a match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H back in like the late 90s, where a fan jumps into the ring and is attacked by Triple H and the referee. That is something else. But to do something like this at the Hall of Fame ceremony, when you are honoring your deceased brother-in-law, is the utmost disrespectful thing unbeknownst to man. If this was done back in the 80s, then this man would probably be chucked into a room with every single wrestler, and you may not be able to identify the guy, or he might not even be breathing.
But as he was being led away, 205 Live general manager Drake Maverick took the microphone and said, "Ignore that, man. Pay no attention to that, man. Let's get everything back up and going again."
Which Bret Hart, being a professional, did along with Natalia. Also, whilst he was being dragged away, you could hear, especially with the cell phone or mobile phone, as we say in this country, footage, the crowds chanting, "Fuck him up."
And in one case, I heard him say, "Asshole."
Just absolutely unbelievable. I even read that Vince McMahon fired someone after this incident. Now, unfortunately, whilst this asshole was probably trying to make a name for himself, and has in a weird way, although there's a special place in hell for someone like this, the new setup didn't exactly help the situation, because there was no real barrier between the people in the crowd and the ring. security could have done maybe a little better job, but under some of the other setups we've had, there is no way that that person would have got up on the stage. Especially, and even if he tried, he would have had to have done it face on, not from behind. And just remember this, Bret Hart is a stroke survivor, a cancer survivor. And if you're watching it on the WWE network, all you see is someone come up beside him before the camera cuts out. There's a couple of minutes where you don't know whether Bret has been shot, stabbed, or what. This man has been charged and will hopefully face a lot of jail time for this.
Hopefully, but also what my colleague did point out that Tally was also taken down when Bret Hart was being tackled.
Well, hard not to be taken down when you're standing right next to Bret Hart.
True. But anyway, that's our kind of rant over. We apologise for that if you were a little bit offended by that, but
Yes, but this fucking juice bag needed a little bit of a mention, even though I am not going to grace this guy with the knowledge that his name will be said in such a way. But in any event, join us momentarily where we shall go through what happened on the greatest stage in WWE, WrestleMania.